It's a sort of homage to Yamaha's history, especially the yellow one with the Kenny Roberts speed blocks. I wish I'd went for the anniversary one. I possibly wouldn't have sold or traded it in. Anyways, yeah, I'm starting to find it impractical. Luggage options, whilst were available, were quite expensive. I think £300 for a top box and rack, £400–500 for, you know, luggage. And to be honest, they sort of killed the look of the bike. If it was something along the lines of what the 900 GT has, you know, with the quick release panniers, doesn't ruin the lines of the bike, take them off. There's only a couple of wee bits that you know, are there that would ever denote they had panniers. If they had something like that for the XSR, it would be amazing, because you could put it on when you need the versatility of the luggage, and you could just unbolt them when you're just out for a blast. And that's where the XSR comes into its own. It's a Sunday afternoon fun blast round the B roads, although it'll do A roads and stuff just the same. But anyway, I wanted something versatile that if I decided to go to my work, I could put my works bag, you know, I work 12-hour shifts, so I'm taking sort of 2 pieces, that's a good old Scottish word, 2 sort of break time snacks, teas, coffees, milk sometimes, you know, you're basically there for 12 hours on a place where there's no shops, there's nothing, so you have to be able to carry stuff. And then, you know, if you're biking gear, I'm part of a sort of uniform service, so I need to basically have a change of shoes, you know, I need to carry stuff. That's basically what it boils down to. Waffled a bit there, but that's basically what it boils down to, is I need to be able to carry things on a motorcycle. Couldn't see what the speed limit there was. I thought it was maybe coming into a 40. Had I seen it was a 50 from behind a big bit tree, I'd have blasted by this guy. Yeah, so I started looking for a change, but a hill can't see over it. And much to my wife's horror, after a year and only 2,500 miles, because again just wasn't using the XSR because just not as practical. Couldn't take it to work very often because I could only take it to work after I had taken all my gear to work, maybe the night before or day before, so all my gear was there, and then I could go in the next night, but then that was sort of weather dependent. Whilst I'm not a fair weather bike rider, I've become more of one over the time. I've got a car, I don't need to ride in the rain, so unless the situation dictates, I would rather keep my bike for the nice summer days. Probably more than anything, I can't be bothered cleaning it. So that's not full throttle, that's just making progress. Get rid of the wee Citroen DS. Oh, one of my pet hates here. Oh, and there's a train coming as well. I absolutely hate level crossings. Anyway, stopped. So XSR was chopped in. I had a couple of other shots on 900 GT demos, including the one that I'd originally rode at 150 miles and thought, this is cack, this is terrible, it feels really strangled. And after another sort of 1200 miles on the engine, the bike felt more like the 15 one, but with some of the improvements. Now the crazy thing is, the 900 Tracer or Tracer GT 2018 model, spec wise the seat height is higher. I have a standard seat on mine and I can actually get my feet flat on the floor, which I never could do even with the low seat on the earlier 15 model. The handlebars aren't ridiculously narrower, they're just that little bit narrower, which makes all the difference. I'm still finding it not extremely hard, I'm still finding it difficult on full lock to the right, but it's nowhere near as difficult as it was before. I love the slipper clutch. Being the 900 GT, this also has the KYB or Kayaba suspension, so it's adjustable. There's still something not quite right with the suspension, and I think this is something. I've not ridden a Yamaha sports bike since about 2003, 2004, 2001 or 2002. Yeah, maybe about 2002 when I had an R6. Prior to that I've had R1s, sort of the first ones, or sorry, not the first ones, the first one, the original model. 80s, hopefully there's nothing coming. Anyway, yeah, so I've had sports bikes, never noticed the Yamaha's had issues with suspension. You know, rode them like most people do. Third gear roll on, buy one, get two free. Nah, pass one, looking for the next one. Yeah, so liked the Yamaha R1s, R6s, then went to Kawasaki ZX6 or 636. I absolutely loved that. Had to sell it for financial business reasons at the time, help try and start a business. But I absolutely loved my ZX636. It was an amazing machine. I'm going to have to go quite slow here because I've got no idea where I'm going. I believe I'm going left though. Yeah, but there's something, not whether it's a geometry, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% happy with the suspension. I find it too light, too much travel. Even although I'm on almost full preload and full rebound damping, there's still just too much travel. So much so, although I try and I'm not sure if I am where I think I am. Yeah, we went the wrong way. I want to go straight on. Yeah, so suspension's not quite right. But it's much better than the standard model. But I think Yamaha really need to do something with their suspension generally on a lot of their bikes these days. Back in before the double white lights. But as hopefully you can see on this video, they're not slow. It's classed as a sports tourer, but the funny thing is, if you ride it hard, like really hard, it can tie itself in knots. But I found that with a lot of Yamahas over the years. So is it the bike, or is it Yamaha's just not very good at it and other manufacturers are better? I don't really know. But yes, there's certainly better sports bikes out there. But see this engine, this is 6th gear, big intake rower, and I'm in standard mode at the moment, and it's, you know, it's great. I use the bike almost like a two-stroke. I generally would have been in 4th gear for that overtake, and I'd have used more of the rev range, because the thing about these is they've got plenty of torque, but the power is a bit two-strokey. But this is rose tinted specs because it's a long time since I've ridden a two-stroke. But yeah, I use the gearbox, I use the engine, so it's not often I do a 6th gear overtake. It's normally 4th gear on a sort of 50-60 mile an hour road. So yes, engine's beautiful, suspension's good on the GT. It's not perfect, it's passable potentially on the 900 standard model. I really can't And unless you got a payout or something and you only had X amount of pounds and you couldn't afford the £1,500 premium, I really can't understand why someone would buy the standard Tracer over the 900 GT. The quick shifter on it works well, it's quick shift up only. I have issues with it sometimes, but I believe that's operator error because I've never had quick shifters. And it's not something, it's not a deal breaker for me having it or not having it, but it is, I think, the £350 extra that I've got on this that you don't get on the standard one. As I said, I run with the touring screen, which I find is pretty good. There is a bit of buffeting, which you can possibly hear in the mic, I'm not sure if you will or not, but you know, I could lift it up and I won't get any buffeting at all. I don't like looking through the perspex. I just find it annoying to try and look through the perspex. It gives me a slightly different view of the road, which I don't enjoy. I don't see some of the imperfections and stuff. Possibly my eyesight more than anything, but if I'm not looking through perspex, my eyesight seems fine. So, you know, this, I did bin the D222s. I did do possibly about 4,000 miles on them, and I found the D222s were much better on the GT, which I believe is down to the suspension being better, but still I'd say they were okay on this, down to about 6-7 degrees, giving you a sort of 3-degree better performance than the original Tracer. So anyway, things I didn't like about the first one, they seemed to fix when they brought out the 2018 model generally. The only thing I believe they didn't make quite as well, but then everyone with a 2017 Tracer bitches about the throttle response. It's too sharp, it's too jerky, it's too responsive. You know, it's a 900cc motor, or sorry, an 847 or whatever it is. You know, it's an 850cc motorcycle. Do you not want instant power when you pull back the throttle? I like instant power. You know, yes, A mode on the old one was jerky, and in town, if you were in town all the time doing 30 mile an hour, it would have been a pain in the backside. But why the hell would you buy a Tracer 900 to sit at 30 mile an hour all the time? So anyways, well, the bunting is, it's gala day season in Scotland at the moment. Sort of start of June to the, you know, maybe about mid-July. Some places other than August, they're just weirdos. So it's basically a time when the town comes together. Anyway, I love my Tracer 900 GT. So much so, there's a road to the right, and I'm going to stop because I've not got any editing facilities at home, or decent ones. So I'm going to stop once I get down here, and maybe continue another time. Thanks for watching, catch you later.